All right. I don't even know where to begin, y'all. I don't want to talk about me, though. It just be like that. Today, I don't want to talk about me. What I want to talk about, man. Let's talk about this. So, let's talk about the struggles that we go through as men. And let's not talk about the struggles I'm going through, right? Because my struggles are self-inflicted and they're caused by things, right? Let's talk about the struggles of a happy man, right? Let's talk about the struggles of a man that's happy, has everything he wants, but he still struggles, right? Because people don't see that, man. They think, like a lot of the times, like before this, people would assume that I was happy and had it all together, right? But bro, I struggled. I didn't even realize I was struggling. I struggled. I thought I was good, but that's what we all think. But you struggle, man, because the life you want to give, whether it be your wife or your children or even yourself, the life you want to give and the life you have, it doesn't meet those standards. So most of us say, well, I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get there. Hell yeah. Like, I'm rooting for you, right? I'm rooting for me. Shit. Like, yeah, I'm gonna get there. That ain't the problem, but I ain't there. And that's where we sit as men in this struggle, like, because we not there. And this shit ain't microwavable, dog. Like, this shit ain't you put in a microwave for 5 minutes and boom, you good. Nah, this shit is not that. You got decisions that you made when you were younger that haunt you when you're older. And nobody tells you, well, nope, I'm not going to say that. I was told that these decisions was going to haunt my ass. But I wasn't trying to hear all that. I just wasn't, bro. Like, I wasn't trying to hear all that. So now you're stuck with trying to figure all that out. And you got more on your plate than you actually needed. And you can't help it. You can't change that, right? You can't change how many kids you have. You can't change. I mean, I guess you can change if you went to college or not. But, like, let's be real. I'm 31 years old, and I do plan on getting a degree. Don't get me wrong. Like, I already have college credits, trying to finish that. And hopefully I can do, like, some advanced manufacturing or whatever. But at 31, trying to go back to college and you have to work full time because you got bills to pay is not, boy, I only imagine if I did it right and I waited to have kids when I'm 25, 26 years old, I'd have a degree. Easy. And I wouldn't have the struggle of worrying about kids or responsibilities or this or that. And that's why it's important. Like, for me, I used to tell my kids, like, at 18, y'all got to go. Nah, y'all don't got to go. Now, I'm going to have a rule, though. At 18, y'all ain't got to go. At 18, if y'all can't stay with mom, y'all want to stay with dad, cool. I'm not going to have a problem with it. But the only understanding I want them to have is you're going to do something. Like, at 18, you're going to go to school or you're going to be in a career field that I see the career path or something. Because I can't let you just sit in the house that I pay for and you a grown man or a grown woman and you think I'm gonna pay all your bills and let you chill until you 35. Nah, that ain't gonna happen, baby. So, you're not saying, like, my mom didn't force me out. I forced myself out. I was like, yeah, I gotta go. Dumbest decision I ever made, but I gotta go, right? I got out there on my own, flat on my face. I've been picking myself up. Ever since that decision, I've been picking myself up. So I can only imagine for a kid at 18 years old how it feels if they have to do that. I had a choice. Some people don't have no choice. some people, it's better to be out on the street than it is to be in the house with your parents. And I didn't have that situation. I was good. Like my mom, she was fine. They were, hey, go to school. And I think I did stay with them for a little bit while I was in college, but I was just like, man, I gotta have my own. I can't bring girls in the house. I can't do this. I could bring them in the house, but you know, mama like, open that door. Fuck, I'm 18. What I need to open the door for? But respecting your parents is a thing, and I understand that. So yeah, it was time for me to go. And I wish I wouldn't have made that decision. I wish I would have took what they were saying more serious at that moment, because I think I'd be in a different place. Should have took my ass to the military like I was going to do, but I didn't do that either. So like if you're a man out there and you 31, 35, 40, shit, and you still sitting there like, fuck, man, like I ain't figured it out. Bro, I don't know if this shit is ever figured out. I think this shit is just stepping, and one day we're going to be sitting in a lawn chair smoking a cigar. Like, I don't know if this shit is ever figured out. I don't know if this shit ever slows down. I know we have to make the most of it. I know we have to make the best of it, right? We got to turn water into lemonade kind of thing, or lemon into lemonade, however they say that shit. But my goal out of this whole thing is simple. How do I create generational wealth for 9 total kids, right? Like, how do I do that? I got to be aggressive, right? Like, I have to be super aggressive. So I don't have time to wait until, I'm 40, all this shit will be ironed out. Now I got to be aggressive now. I got to be aggressive now. So it's super important that I get this shit right really soon. And I'm letting that process work itself out, doing the best I can with it. But for you men out there that think that this shit just don't get better, you got to ask yourself, do you think it's not getting better because of you or your situations, right? So what I mean by that is it not getting better because you're in the way of yourself, or is it not getting better because your situations are in the way of yourself, of it? And I'm gonna tell you, and somebody probably told you this shit a million times, either one of those things ain't an excuse, right? I'm not saying don't sit on that couch one day, man, and just think. I'm not saying don't do that. Yeah, do that. But let's just say yourself is the problem. Well, fucking fix it. Right? You're not going to fix it in a fucking day. I'm not fixed now. But one thing I am able to do now is sit here and tell y'all I fucked up in this many areas. And if I can sit there and tell y'all I fucked up, then you know I've sat here a million times with myself and was like, all right, you fucked that up. Right? So I sit here, that's one. That's me hurdling myself as an obstacle. Now let's go to hurdling your situations as an obstacle. That's not an excuse either, because you created those situations. You may have not known better then. You may have not been told better then, but the reality of it is you there now. Whether that be screwing your credit up, whether that be getting a whole bunch of tickets and you ain't got no driver's license, whether that be having a whole bunch of kids, bro, y'all can't tell me about these things. I did it. Like, I've done it. Y'all can't tell me about these things. I know those are situations, but those are situations I created. Those are situations you created. So how do you jump those obstacles, right? How do you work past or work through those obstacles? Day by day, step by step, check by check. Only way. Find that time to focus on yourself. I'm not saying that you got to leave your significant other. I'm not saying you got to disown your kids or whatever. I'm saying find that 30 minutes every day. Find that 30 minutes every day where you sit and you're like, oh shit, okay. Get a diary, write, right? Get a diary, write. And my diary isn't what y'all think. I'm not sitting there writing my feelings. I do that with the videos. I'm not sitting there writing my feelings. I'm writing what I gotta do next. And I open that shit every day, right? Yesterday, or let's talk about it, last week, or was it last week? 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, I wrote down the kind of house I want, right? I wrote down the kind of house I want. I know I'm not going to buy no house tomorrow, right? We 2 weeks in. I know I'm not doing that tomorrow. I open that book every day. What can I do to get there? Write it down. Write it down, right? My process is writing it down, so that way I see it every day. And I am disciplined enough. I look in that book every day. And I put important shit in that book. I write my bills down in that book. I sit there and I jot notes in that book. What I want to do, how I'm going to pay my bills this week. Because every time I look at that book, I got to go across that page. Why is that page bookmarked? Why is that page bookmarked? Oh, shit. That's the last thing I'm working on. Okay. And I do that about my life. So that way these hurdles are never lost. They're never lost because I'm always trying to jump them. And that helped me. I'm curious on what helped you guys. Like, I talked to some old school partners of mine, man, and some of them ain't got it together. Some of them do. And they all tell me the same thing. You ain't got no choice in this life, right? Like, it's already here. You can't be reborn. Your mistakes can't be erased. How do you function and grow at the same time with all that being said? Some people say you're fucked. You can't do nothing. That ain't my mindset, right? My mindset is you can come back from anything if you want to, right? You can come back from anything if you want to. Does it suck that you got to do it that way? Yes. But I truly believe that God sat here with me and was like, and it's not an excuse, but this is what I believe. I'm going to give you this many kids. I'm going to give you this many situations because I know you're built for this shit and I need you to teach them, right? So just my sons, right? My daughters too, but let's just talk about my sons. I've went through everything possible they're going to go through. Everything. Had a kid young, lost some relationships, been hurt, worked different jobs, worked outside, worked inside, been told no, been called a nigger, been told I didn't belong because it wasn't a black population, which was oil field. I was like one of, shit, I don't fucking know how many, maybe one. On a drilling rig, you'll find out. On drilling rigs, there's not a lot of black people. On drilling rigs, there is mainly Caucasian and Hispanic people. That's who's on drilling rigs. Black people they not on drilling rigs. And I was told, oh, you ain't gonna last out here, kid. That's what I was told. So I'm telling y'all to tell you that at the end of the day, what you gonna do about it, right? So with me, that's the reason why that's the reason why I feel like I've been put through all these tests, because I have 4 young black men, and countless other young black men that I coached through youth football. Hell, not even black men, just countless other men, period. Young men that I coach in youth football, my sons, that one day these questions are going to be asked. And if they don't have a father in their life, hopefully their mom is like, hey, coach, can you talk to yada, yada, yada. But I want to be there to answer those questions, because now I know how hard I got to teach you, because I know the consequences of your mistakes. Like, my stepdad was great, but he couldn't teach me the consequences of the mistakes I was going to make because he never did it. He was out the gate. He was smart. He didn't have kids. He kept the same job for years. He was consistent. He didn't blow money. He wasn't a materialistic guy. So he didn't run into the same obstacles as me. So how can somebody that never endured those obstacles teach you about those obstacles? They can't. And they can tell you, hey, you better not do that because this gonna happen. They could tell you that all day. But the passion you would speak about it when it really happened to you is where I think my kids, my sons, my daughters will get. And they've been here with me through it, right? They've been here with me through the struggles of shit. So when they get older, they're going to realize why dad couldn't take 9 kids to Fiesta, Texas. They're going to realize why dad couldn't do this or do that with all of y'all at the same time because either I couldn't afford to or didn't have the space to or this or that or this or that. They're going to realize what school shopping, buying shoes, even just one pair of shoes for 9 kids is like. And that's when it's going to be when I say, hey, don't make this mistake. I feel like they're going to be like, yeah, you're right. Because I don't want to do the shit you had to do, dog. So I feel like that's my purpose and that's what helps me grind now. Because I also want to show them, if you did happen to go this route and do the dumb shit your dad did, hey, you good though. I'm not saying do it, but I'm also telling you we're not going to just sit here and sob over it. You're going to cry sometimes. You're going to be down sometimes because you're not where you want to be. That's okay. But blaming everybody for your own situations and your own mistakes is not it. Take hold of those reins and ride the shit out that motherfucking dog. That's all I can say. Take a hold of them and ride, because it's going to be a ride and it's going to be wild. But at the end of it all, there's something waiting for you there. I don't know what that is, right? I mean, I pray mine's is a whole bunch of land and a big ass house. Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe he puts me in a boathouse. I don't know. But I know my goal and where I'm going. So I hope you guys sit there and y'all know your goal and where you're going, because just because it looks like you got it now, I guarantee you there's something more that you want out of this life. Go after that. Go after whatever it is more that you want out of this life. Go after that shit. All right. Talk to y'all tomorrow. Maybe tonight. I don't know yet.